Arabic calligraphy session for Macfest. I've been working with Macfest for around 7 years now. So this is my first time at Ashton Library and it's been absolutely brilliant. The response, the people coming along, I'm just about going into my second session. Assalamualaikum, come in. We've got people coming in now and it's been really great. So I'd definitely come back here again.
Hello, my name's Soy and I've joined this Arabic calligraphy workshop and I found it quite fascinating. Well, that's my masterpiece, just on the first letter Alif, so many intricacies involved, and with the other few letters we'll be practicing as a family at home, and we enjoyed it very.
The different types of fonts, and then hopefully we can all start a little trial of doing it ourselves together, and then by the end you'll all be creating your own masterpieces to take away. As Arabic calligraphists, hopefully you'll be finishing off here. So, few versions of the Quran. So, as there was the spread of Islam, there was also sort of the influence and culture of different regions wanting to write it in their own font or format. So, in Arabic we call it Khat al-Arabiya, calligraphy of Arabic, and some scripts reflect a time period or sometimes a geographical insight and history to the piece. So the first ever script to come along is called Kufi. It's the oldest Arabic script and it originates in the city of Kufa. So today you may see Kufi in places like Morocco, in tiles. Now for those who are Arabic speaking, you probably look at this and think it literally means copy. And the reason Nas came about was because they wanted a script that was readable and legible for the Quran. When you are praying and reciting the Quran, it's very important that you get the words, the accents on the words exactly right. So for that reason, Nas came about. Don't make any errors. It's very clear to see and it's very legible to see exactly what you are praying. So that's a little font. And just talking about fonts, I like to think of it as like when you're using Microsoft Word, for example, you've got Comic Sans, Times New Roman, Arial. That's as far as my font knowledge goes, and make sure it's legible and beautify the words further. So this is in the form of art. So yeah, this one's Maghribi. And then finally, my favourite, Diwani. This is what you will be learning a little bit more about today and hopefully trying it yourself. This script originated around the time of the Ottoman Empire. So because the Ottoman Empire was so vast and large, when the leaders were sending letters to each other, they wanted to write sort of secretive text within the letter. They didn't want it to be in the wrong hands along the way and someone find out. So this text is very specifically aiming to be secretive, to answer your question from earlier. So now it's very much used in artwork and yeah, so that's like a poem that I had seen online, and it was a poem dedicated to a mother, so I was like, this is beautiful, what can I do with it? And this piece inspired me. So it's hard to say because in the UK, I would say yes, but I hate to say something generic for across the globe. But I've seen this most often used. And it's really good, like this is how when I was learning, and even now to be honest, it makes you red pen your own work effectively. If I'm checking against my practice and I see I've gone a little too high here, I know, okay, right, that needs to come in a little bit. So this is where I'm saying, you know, it's really good if you do feel like actually I want to progress this for myself. It's a good little trick and tip to learn from. I actually did a session last week, and a girl messaged me after the session to say I bought this book because I said, oh, you know, normally so the last thing I want to do is have the last little bit left after 5 weeks of work, and then I'm not in the right space of mind and I make a mistake. So it's been really important, especially as I've started doing pieces of art, for me to even recognise, actually, am I in the right state of mind? And I think that's the hardest question anybody can answer about themselves. You always tell yourself, oh, I'm fine, there's absolutely nothing wrong. and then the anxiety beneath the surface starts brewing and you're like, actually, you know. So I've had to come up with a little tip or trick for myself that tells me, am I ready to start a piece of work? So I do something called stability lines. So if I'm going to sit down and start a piece of work today, I will start off by drawing three stability lines. The aim is they have to be exactly parallel. They have to be thick and thin in all the right places. So this is awful. They're not exactly spaced between the 2 and 3, but I'm stood in front of a class of people, so I am not in my calm meditative state. So if I was to do that at home, I'd go for a walk, I'd listen to some Quran, I'd calm myself down, and I'd come back to it, and then I'd try it again. And it's happened where I keep trying it, it's not happening today, and I say, I'm not going to risk it, I'm going to walk away and come back. What we call an Arabic calligraphy pen is a 3mm. Now your Arabic calligraphy pen nibs are what we call chisel tip. A bit like a highlighter, they're on an angle, and they make that same shape, that chisel tip shape. And then you have inks, and you dip into your inks. And now ink work is a whole different workshop, so I don't tend to cover that here. Ink discipline took a long time for me to work out as well. Again, that's like making sure that you've got the right amount of ink on your wood, otherwise you are blotting on a work piece like this. There's all sorts in that, so that's a whole different discipline, which if you are interested in it, I recommend you're looking online. There's probably things around the cutting of a pen, but yeah, you can get them on eBay as well.
I'm guessing the ink is like...
These are the letters that refer to these sat above, right? So Alif, which is the equivalent of A, so Arabic is right to left. So Alif, which is equivalent of A, could be either the first or the second. If you speak Arabic, the second version reminds you of Lam. In Diwani, it's not a Lam until the tail is curling back over. So this is where you can help with some of the confusions. That's an Alif. Ba or Ta or Tha, depending on where your nuktas are, could be any of these four. And this is why you can get quite creative with it. Today we are going to master the Alif. Alif is the hardest letter in Diwani calligraphy, in my opinion, and in I think Milli's opinion. So I feel if you master the Alif, you can master any of the other letters of the whole Arabic alphabet. So I'm going to do a little demonstration up here, and then I'll come round. It's a lot easier. So use your little dot with your pen width, which is your 3mm, and it will give you a 3mm by 3mm diamond, hopefully. And then based on that, you measure your letters. For a Diwani Alif, we have a 5.5 nukta high Alif. So in an ideal world, 1, 2, 3, 4, a line, sort of an inch down your blank sheet. So your pointy end facing 12 o'clock and your not so pointy end facing 6 o'clock. Pointy end facing up, so pointy end facing 12 o'clock. I'm going to do the same line as we did earlier, just that top little section. It's that movement, and I know I go fast with it, and that's with time, but if I was to slow that down. Contact, you're not twisting, you're still facing 12 o'clock. So that goes back to why, you know, when we did that exercise first, from the difference between 12 and 3 o'clock, that just shows you, obviously, if you go across, it's a thick line, if you go down, it's a thin line, you know, you have to manipulate those angles, but the only part here that